Welcome to the Misfit One Lifestyles with Elizabeth Colin. She will awaken and connect with your Misfit One. Are you tired of the ups and downs in your life? Are you ready to live a healthy lifestyle once and for all? We are talking about all aspects of your life. Being fit is not just physical, it's also your mind and soul. Learn how to take steps in your life to move towards your goals. Elizabeth's goal is for everyone listening to the sound of her voice to get fit. Let's get focused, let's get intentional, and let's transform. Now here's your host, Elizabeth Colin.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Misfit One Lifestyles with your host, Elizabeth Colin, also known as Misfit One. And listen, today's guest is gonna get your mind right. Get out your books, pull out a dictionary. We're going to school today, y'all. Our guest is the one and only Jessica Williams. How you doing, girlfriend?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming out. Listen, for those of you who do not know, she's an educator and the CEO of the First Class Learning Academy. Did you hear the name of that? Let me say it again, y'all. First Class. What kid don't want to go to that? That's so awesome. Tell us about your business.
So, First Class Learning Academy, we've launched since 2017. And I really have a passion for education, and I've known since I was 17 that this is not so much for the name, but the tutoring agency itself. This is what I was called to do. And with that being said, I ran from it for years.
Right.
About 15 years, maybe, I ran from it. I finally launched it in 2017, and after I launched it, 24 hours later, I had my first client, still a client, and it's been booming since then. So I have enjoyed every last bit of it. It's really about changing the community, impacting the community, empowering the community, one learner at a time. That's all it's about. As long as it helps the one, then
I love that. One learn at a time. I really do. And what you do is you help all ages, right? Well, I'm going to say 12 to 30, right?
Well, that's the mentorship part. But far as the tutoring aspect of it, any age, all ages, any subject, all subjects. If I am not able to, say for instance, if it's a subject that I don't feel the most comfortable with, I have people that I can bring in and that's willing and ready to help get the assistance there. So we don't have any boundaries when it comes to the subject matter.
And where can we find you?
Right now on Facebook, First Class Learning Academy, on Instagram, First Class _services, excuse me. Direct phone number, 404-307-0782. That is the phone number for the office. You can also find us on LinkedIn. You can do a search under Jessica Williams on any platform, and you can pretty much find First Class Learning Academy.
I love that. Now, you guys are worldwide, or do you do it online, or what? Like, how do you do it? Like, if I'm in Texas.
We are virtual. I'm in Belize right now.
Thank you, girlfriend. That's what I was saying. That is it. Listen, did you said since you were 17 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
You knew. How did you know at 17 you wanted to be an educator?
Well, I knew at 5 that I was passionate about teaching. And at 5, I've always said, I want to be a math teacher. I want to be a teacher. My parents cultivated it. My dad brought home a chalkboard, put it in the garage, hung it up. I had my imaginary students. We had the teacher editions of the books. He was the principal.
Right.
My mother was the nurse on site. When my stuffed animals would get sick. Or my imaginary, I had my grade book. And so they cultivated what I was passionate about. And with that being said, I am good at
A
it.
teacher. Yeah, you was born to do this. Look, I was born to do this.
I was born to do this, exactly. And so at 15, my brother and sister are 10 and 8 years older than I am.
Okay.
So they had, of course, their college friends and different things like that. But at 15, I was tutoring some of their classmates. So in their college courses.
I love it.
Math is my specialty, but like I said, I can do all subjects, but math is what I specialize in.
You know, that's so scary. My daughter, my youngest, just well, I say just, but she graduated from UC Santa Barbara as a math major. That's her favorite. She
We need to hook up.
Yeah, and she actually did do. She did do tutoring. That's how she got through school. She tutored all. She always did that. But yeah, math is not my thing. Like no,
Really?
not my thing. No. And so she have always been in advanced math. I have been able to help her with her math like she was in 5th grade. I'm like, why are you bringing me Chinese? Like, I cannot read this language. And I would hold the paper upside down. And she's like, Mama, no, you got it upside down. Oh, let me see. I would flip it all around. And what would be so funny about it is when I said, well, tell me what I'm looking at so I can help you. But when she would talk it out, she would figure it out herself. Oh, never mind. I was like, well, I'm glad I could help you.
Right.
You know, like
that was a help though. That was you helped her in a way that she needed help.
It was so funny. Every time I'm like, oh, and you can see it. Every time I would see her coming to me, I'm like, oh, Lord, no, not a math problem. Not a math problem. But so you love math as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. And what you described is actually the experience of most parent child relationship when it comes to math. Yeah. They are frustrated. The children are frustrated. They're, that frustration comes out in disciplinary forms because it's like, just do it. Well, I don't get it. Why don't you understand it? Like you are not going to do this to me tonight. Jessica. And so then the students are like, well, what am I doing? I don't understand. So it becomes this headbutt, this confrontation, and now you're sitting here going to bed mad, and the homework is not done. You're stressed out. They are sitting there fuming, saying, well, I'm just not going to turn it. Well, you don't care.
Right.
And so then that trickles down into the school, and then the teacher has to deal with it. But they say, well, my mom don't care when the parents come to the teacher-parent conferences. Well, I understand about math because I didn't get it either. And so they excuse the low performance. And then you have this, this cycle of low performance and saying that it's okay.
You know what? That's so true. I'm gonna be right. Look, this platform, we all gonna be 100% true. Tell the truth, 100% truth, right here. So listen, I hated math, and I think it was because how my daddy did it with me, right? So my dad is great at math. Okay. I was not. So I would ask my dad questions. You could see he was frustrated of trying to tell me over and over what it was. And I remember one time he said, I was like, I'm going to say it's 5 + 5. And he said, okay, 5 + 5, what is it? I was like, He said, give me your hand. He said, you want help? You want me to tell you? I said, yeah. So he would give me his hand, and he would pop my hand, well, like a wooden spoon, like 5 times. And he said, count it, So I counted to 10. And then he's like, you need help again? I was like, no, I don't need no help. I don't even like math no more.
Free licks off me.
No, thank you. And it's so crazy because you're right. I was very upset. I'm like, why I'm getting punished? And so I just shut down on math. Mm-hmm. I say I'm not good at math at all, but I can show calculator sale. When they say 10% off of this, if you talk to me in money, I can do it. Right. But if you take that and say, what is 10% of $100? I mean, of 100, I wouldn't know. Like, let me try to figure it out.
Right.
But so
too much processing.
Too much processing. So you are exactly right, because my dad was frustrated with me with it, and I was frustrated on how he responded. Then I was like, I don't even care about math. Like, I don't care. And that poor teacher had to deal with it because I went in there with, look, we don't care about math. My dad can't show me, so I don't care. So I see that right there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's almost like a picture painting that is found in almost all the homes of struggling students.
Wow.
Maybe a different method, but the outcome, the experience is the same. And
sorry.
Go
ahead.
I was about to say, I cannot say the countless amount of times that this has been a conversation with a parent. I just don't get it. You know what? I'm just going to back out of this and leave this, whatever they can say after school. They do not come home. I mean, they end up telling me, don't send them home if they come home or they do this. Matter of fact, your ear, if they listen.
No, we're not doing that.
I'm not going to risk my license for you, for your.
And your little kid can't get the math problems. That's on you. That's in the DNA. No,
I'm going to use my methods, and we're going to go from there. But I promise you, I understand what you're saying.
Right. And so, knowing all those things, how did you come up with it? How did the first Learning Academy come into play?
Honestly, God.
Amen.
Everything from I created my webpage, and it's been updated. When I had sent it off to my developer to update my webpage. Then I ended up with COVID, and I just haven't touched base back with him again, trying to get everything back together. But from the development of my webpage, I did it myself. And you can go and look at it. I believe it still has a inactive page of firstclasslearningacademy.com, and everything that was written on there, God gave it to me, and I wrote it up in 4 hours, and it stayed like that from 2017 until I just had it redeveloped in 2021. So it has been the face of everything. So all I can say, from the contract, God did it. From the program that I use, from the material that I have found, from methods, and when I'm working with the client one-on-one, is very unique to each specific client. All of it, I have to give it back to God. So
I love it. I do, because I get it. I get it. And again, you were born to do that. He gave you, that was his gift to you. Now you just giving it to others. I love that. You spoke earlier about COVID. You've had COVID. I had COVID. How has COVID impacted the Learning Academy?
Well, with me, I will push through. Thankfully, my COVID experience was not too grave. I still was at home. My clients understood I may have had to cancel or reschedule some sessions because I wasn't feeling well during our scheduled time. But I didn't miss too many of my scheduled times with my clients, and they were very understanding. Far as in with the business itself, now that has suffered not as much as some, but people weren't able to afford the services because they wasn't working, and or they everything is virtual and everything is at home. So now the students are spending too much time in front of the computer, and they want to give them a break. So there's different aspects of that COVID itself has impacted the organization. But far as in, I've been able to build a team during COVID. I've been able to continuously connect. I've been able to establish new relationships, establish new clients, look into bridge into organizations, and hosting group sessions within the organizations, and then actually being a part of developing people's educational platforms within their organizations. So with COVID, I've been exposed to a lot. So it has its upsides and then its downside, and people have respected and appreciated the fact that it's virtual.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And I know a lot of times people find it hard to do stuff on virtually, the computer, especially learning, because one of the things they think, it has to be hands-on. You have to have the person's attention. You have to do this and have to do that. But it has been amazing to see the different shows how creative teachers are, how they come up with different things to still capture the kids' attention during this time, and this and that. And I think that's like phenomenal. I think that teachers should be the highest paid anything. They should get paid more than bankers. They should be paid more than any other profession. And I am saying that entertainers, they should totally be paid because they are with your kids. They are the ones molding their kids the most.
Right.
The most. And it's crazy. And they don't have just one kid. I remember when my kids were little, in California, they had a teacher's aide, they had help. And then they stopped having teacher's aides. And then I remember I volunteered. I was in the school and it was crazy. It's one teacher with 30 kids and all these 30 little attitudes and these 30 little different things. And this one little lady has to assure their safety, understanding their feelings. They have to be everything. And I just admire teachers. You are truly our everyday heroes. And it was pointed out more so when COVID hit, because these parents wasn't ready to have their kids that time, right?
Exactly. And I have to agree with you, not because I'm in the profession or in different things like that, but coming from the profession, it should be a higher paid. Even if it's not the highest paid, it should most definitely be up there with the doctors and the lawyers. Because,
Right.
without a good solid foundation, you don't have doctors that you don't have the lawyers, or I don't want them to be working on me.
Say it, Jessica. Say it. You ain't lying, right? You're not lying.
I don't want them to try my case. So that's just my personal, but it's a selfless position. And the virtual side of it, I was in the school system when I launched First Class Learning Academy. And First Class Learning Academy always had the two components, in person and virtual. And I must say that virtual is provides more flexibility.
Yes.
With the parent scheduling, with your scheduling, with day-to-day life. And just like, sitting at home with COVID, I did not impact, I can't pass COVID to you through the computer screen.
Right.
So I was still able to function as long as I felt okay. And the students were protected. So, of course you talk about the social interactions and, being able to, when you think about school settings and what they're getting all from the school setting, you don't want to take that away, but you can always create that. Travel groups. There's no reason why, because on the platform, you can have more than one person on the platform.
Yeah.
And you can talk and you can put them in groups, breakout sessions. There's so much that you can do that is better than in the classroom, because if you have groups, this group is right next to that group, and you squeeze in between, and they over there gleaning and leaning
to see what they,
and they're not having a true 4-person group discussion. They're having a 4+2.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but in the virtual, you can really say, okay, these 4 people are working together. So there's its benefits from that virtual component. And the engagement part of it, now that can be a challenge. You most definitely have to use more of your personality when you're on the computer to keep the students engaged.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I tell my clients, I need you to use your personality to keep me engaged.
Okay. Yes.
I need you just as much as you need me, because it's when I was in the school system, I said this is like a theater, a platform, a stage. Every day you're coming in and you're coming on stage and you're having to put on this act, and that act may be learning how to add and subtract polynomials, or that act may be learning how to do sine and cosine and tangent equations. But it's you're having to do something to get them engaged into it. You have to find creative ways, videos, manipulatives, whatever it may be. And those same things can be done in home, online, virtually, because we have a mail program at First Class Learning Academy. We mail you things. So There's no reason why. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Like I said before, I'm in Belize. But that doesn't stop my clients from getting their mail when they need their mail. It does not stop it because I have my team that is right there, or I have no problem going to America when I need to. I tell my clients all the time, I can show up. We show up at schools.
That.
Yes, ma'am. We attend parent-teacher conferences. We do it all because we are an extension of your experience, your
educational. I think that is so cool. I love that. So what is your favorite part about being an educator?
My favorite part is seeing the light bulb.
Yeah.
The light bulb. When the student finally gets it. And what's becoming a second favorite is when the parents are finally able to enjoy their student or their child at the full capacity. Meaning, you know what? I know they're in good hands with this math. And when they make the score that they make on the test, they can really celebrate and not come back with, see, I told you if you just did this and this and that. No. That's not your time to say, No. So they can really celebrate and they can really change the mentality behind.
Oh, yeah. Struggle. And it takes the pressure off. It takes that's what I feel is very hard about virtual for the parents, because they have to be teacher, mama, this and all that. And it's a constant, especially if they're not doing well. So it's like a constant fight, like and it's hard to take that away, but to give it to somebody like you, a professional, that can do it. I can be happy now. I'll pick you up and I'm happy. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Right.
You did good on your thing? All right. Right. You don't have that pressure of because then, it's a reflection of you if you can't tell them well. Like them people were saying, me and my baby failed first grade. It was so funny when they was doing them. Girl, they was doing those TikToks and memes. It was so funny when they first went to virtual. Like, we both failed. Like, oh, gosh. So it is so great. What advice, while we wrapping this up, what advice do you want to tell people, parents, about learning about their student?
Do not feel that you should not reach out or you're not giving your child everything that they need because it's not coming from you. Having that advocate, having that extra personnel, having that person where you could say, you know what? I'm going to turn this over to you, and I'm going to allow you to do because when your child gets sick, where you take them, if the rubber testing doesn't work, if the vitamin C doesn't work, if the go to sleep and drink some water doesn't work, the next thing you're going to do is take them to the doctor because you have done to your extent what you can do. I'm not sitting here saying give up before you try. But once you have realized that you have went through your protocols of what you can do and you know that your son or your daughter is struggling, it doesn't have to be the first class, but reach out to someone. And the school programs may not be the best fit because the school programs are coming from the same teachers that the child is not learning from in the classroom in the first place.
Yeah, so, very true.
It may be a personality conflict. It may be the teacher is not speaking the language that your child is speaking. Right. So there could be so many different components that is causing that delay, causing that struggle. And it's okay. It's okay. If they're behind, they're not going to forever be behind. If they are ahead, they still need help. I have the college prep program where students who are advanced, they are advanced and they understand they are above their grade level, but they are still running into some struggles because they are learning new material.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not just, my child is struggling and they need help. No, my child is advanced and they need help.
Yeah,
I just want my child to have help. I want my child.
That was it. Mm-hmm.
So there's other components too. Testing anxiety is real.
Yeah, I got one. My daughter is so scared to take tests. Every time she would, Oh my gosh, she would panic. She would do all good. She would fail because what? I'm like, what is going on, baby girl? Like, what? You know this stuff. But but we figured it out when she was probably in about sixth grade, sixth,
Mm-hmm.
seventh grade, when she was like just really panicking. And then we did have to get help with that. Like, just calm down, make it,
Right. Right.
you're right. It's real. It's real. You know what I also want to ask before we wrap it up, before I forget, because this is important to me.
Yes, ma'am. And this is your show, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no. Right now, it's all about you, Jessica. This is the Jessica Williams hour, baby. Let me tell you that. No, we want to know. I definitely want to know, because teaching and being with these kids all the time and learning can be very stressful. Um, how do you, this is like one of my standard questions, how do you have your self-care? Like, what do you do to take care of you, Jessica?
You know what?
What?
Making time for me.
What does that look like?
Not worrying about anybody else. Meaning,
Okay.
meaning like, you spent, and I was just having this conversation with my husband, just being very transparent. I was just having this,
Yeah.
and I said, I just feel like you're giving so much of yourself to every single aspect of your life, and especially when you're in operating in your own business. You're
Yes.
giving yourself, because you're passionate about it and you want to see it come to
To
fruition.
fruition, yeah.
So when you're giving so much, and you're the visionary. So your team, yes, come and support you, but you don't have anyone coming back in and giving all of that. Well, you take the time. You take the time. You have to take the time. And I told him it could be things. I said, maybe I need to go and exercise to get those endorphins.
Wait, pause right there. I just want y'all to hear. Did she say maybe? Maybe I'll go and exercise. I'm going. Now keep saying, Jessica, what you talking about, girl? What you talking about? Go ahead.
I know I need to go and exercise.
But I think I love how she say maybe is exercise. I just love that, the way you just stuck it in.
I'm giving you the candid conversation, the transparent conversation that I
That's what it
really
is.
just
Yeah.
had. And I said, I don't want to do anything else. It's not about going out. It's not about going to restaurants. It's really about trying to get those endorphins and whatever else that sparks and flies in your body that make you feel good, that makes you happy. And that's what self-care really is.
That's right. Self-care is self-love.
I can say I got this whole facial makeup regimen. I can sit here and say I go and get massages and all of this stuff. Yes, that's temporarily feeling good. But what makes you feel good 100% of the time, or majority of the time, is when your body is in good condition, when your body is feeling like it's 100. So that maybe is going to change into I.
Just say that maybe. Yeah, you need to good, because you said it well, though. I do appreciate it when you speaking very candid, because this is what we do here. And you said it when you said doing it. I mean, just doing me, like doing nothing, and that's easy. A lot of times people call that meditation. A lot of times people call it devotion, their prayer, their whatever time. But that is true. Just doing you and just sitting and being still and being silent. You can actually connect with your inner person, that inner wisdom, and really bring the joy from within. So you were right. You mean maybe exercise will help you kick it a little bit, but you got this, girl. You're doing great.
And trust me, to be honest with you, after I said, oh, that's misfit. Listen, but no, to be honest with you, water. These are things that really, it costs no money. It costs no money to do. Drinking your water, going out and exercising, getting up and doing something, and putting on some positive music. It can be Christian music. It doesn't have to be just something positive. Yeah. Adding those things into your life, your everyday life, it's gonna change. It's gonna change. I tell you, if you surround yourself around negativity, you're going to experience negativity.
Right.
If you
Yes.
surround yourself around positivity, you have no choice but to experience positivity.
Absolutely, because your body is a conductor, right? It's like a vessel. What you put in is what you put out.
Right.
You understand? So if you put in good, good's coming out. If you put in bad, bad is coming out.
Exactly.
But baby, I'm trying to say, I have really enjoyed our talk today. You have given us great information. I love the fact that you said one student at a time. What did you say?
One learner at a time.
One
learner at a time.
One learner at a time. Love it. You guys, till next week, I want you to stay learning and stay fit. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Misfit One Lifestyles. Listen, when you are fed up and sick and tired of living this stifled, overwhelmed, and overstressed life, and you're ready to live the fullest, richest, and healthiest life by gaining more confidence, more energy, and more clarity, living in your best self, you know what to do, right? Go ahead, go to my website, misfit1.com. Sign up for our online courses, Creating Healthy Habits, so that you too can live fit, focus, move with intention, and transform your life.